or with nuts, or both?
I'm going for the dark chocolate in the biggest, fattest caramel dripping apple you've ever seen.
Dan's Homemade Candies, here we come.
Dan's Homemade Candies are only here for a limited time at 1003 Plainfield Road in Joliet and in downtown Joliet at 229th Street. Online at danshomemadecandies.com.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
At Jiffy Lube, it's our job to keep you moving. With a full range of services from oil changes and tire rotations to filters, wipers, and more, plus at select locations, batteries, and brake services, we've got what your car needs, so you're ready for whatever's next. Putting you in the driver's seat of car care? That's a job for Jiffy. An appointment is never needed for any service at Jiffy Lube. For locations and services, go to chicagolandjiffylube.com.
1340 WJOL presents Tim Kerpen's House Talk, Thursday afternoons at 12:15, hosted by the owner of Kerpen Inspections, Tim Kerpen. There's so much you can do around the house, and each week, Tim will give you the ins and outs on how to make your home the best it can be and keep your energy bills down. If you're a business and would like to advertise or be featured on the show, call 708-935-3050. Tim Kerpen's House Talk, Thursday at 12:15 on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Hey, race fans, don't miss Autumn Harvest, presented by Evie George's Bar and Grill and Darcy Motors. This Saturday at the Grundy County Speedway in Morris. Autumn Harvest is the last race of the year, featuring 8 divisions of racing, including a 50-lap, 10,000 to win late model shootout. Gates open at 2 p.m., qualifying at 3:45 with green flag racing at 5 p.m. Rain date Sunday, the Grundy County Speedway, Route 47, just north of I-80 in Morris, where all kids 11 and under get in free. GrundySpeedway.com.
EDGYTIM is here. Coach Rod is here. The best high school football fans in the state are here. It's time for Pigskin Preview. Coaches, players, fans, and experts. You get them all right here on Pigskin Preview. Powered by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy and John Wright.
Welcome and good evening to the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk, Sports. EDGYTIM here along with the coach, Joe Rodagaro, and Evan Bredesen spinning the dials. Guys, unfortunately, we got to start the show off with a little bit of a bummer, unfortunately. Yes. Just before we went on the air, it was announced that Bears legend, Joe, Dick Butkus, unfortunately passed away at the age of 80. So, again, another kick to the nads to us Bear fans. It's been a terrific year to be a Chicago sports fan, isn't it?
Yes. Dick Butkus, old school tough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
How many teams back in that era, like their main guy was a linebacker? And you could get a linebacker number on a jersey.
Yes.
He was synonymous with Chicago. There's no doubt about it. And beloved, and again, some obvious connections to the south suburbs for sure. Born and raised in Chicago Heights, and the whole Chicago Heights connection with the Butkus family and son Luke, and so unfortunately, a bummer to hear that. So again, just prayers to everyone, the Bears family and the Butkus family as well. But Joe, we're here to talk high school football for the next 2 hours, and we are going to do that. And this show and every show of Pigskin Preview brought to you by our State Farm agents, Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And the Week 6 winner of the State Farm agent, Kevin Malloy Pigskin Preview Player of the Week is Lincoln Way East senior running back Nuri Muhammad, 124 yards and just 8 carries and 2 touchdowns. Joe had fun yesterday out at Lincoln Way East. Got to visit with Nuri a little bit and with the team, and always appreciate Coach Zavonar having us out. And again, that was a lot of fun.
Yes, it sure was.
The schedule is as follows. We have a little bit of open time and open phones. If you're interested, 815-254-7300. Would love to hear from you. We are going to go guest heavy in the second hour. Gee, amazing how that works, huh? We are going to have Rob Zavonar will join us later in the 6 o'clock hour. 7 o'clock, Joe Power Hour. We will go Alan Thorson from Morris, Tyler Plants from Providence Catholic, and Jake Jaworski will join us in the 7 o'clock hour tonight. So plenty coming your way. If you really want to get frustrated and upset and there's another football game you have to turn on and watch, put us on in the background. Maybe we'll make you laugh a little bit.
Mute it and listen to us.
Maybe save someone from some violence or something, Joe, with knowing Bear fans and where we're at now.
Something at the TV or something.
Where we're going. And is it bad that my first thought was that the defense would give up 51 points in honor of Dick Butkus tonight or no? Is that bad?
That was great.
Sorry. If that's bad, I apologize, Bear fans. But unfortunately, that was my first thought.
Well, all of us Bear fans, so I mean, I just kind of chuckled at that.
Yep. The broadcast schedule is as follows this week: 6:05 Friday Night Lights, the pregame show. You might be able to hear Evan for 2 to 3 minutes before we turn it over to Dave Dwyer and his pregame show. 45 minutes of just interesting radio to listen to. Then kickoff, 7:30 kickoff from the Emerald Isle. Carmel Catholic comes in. If you haven't heard the news, Carmel Catholic's kind of relevant again, folks.
Yes, they are.
Got a very good team this year, and they make the trip down from Mundelein and take on Providence Catholic. Very, very interesting game, to say the least. So, again, that's a 7:30 kickoff, and looking forward to that broadcast. Joe, the Week 7 WJOL EDGYTIM.com Big 5 poll is as follows.
Number 5, we have Lincoln Way Central. At number 4, we have Joliet Catholic. At number 3, we have Lincoln Way West. At number 2, we have Morris. And at number 1, Lincoln Way East.
That is the WJOL Big 5 poll. You can hear that every Monday morning on Scott Slocum in the morning. Joe?
Yes, sir.
I want to say hi to everyone watching us on YouTube Live, and glad you could join us. And again, if you have questions, you can DM us your questions right there. And who knows, Joe, we might even use it.
Yes.
Weather on the go post question of the week.
First question.
Can the Chicago Bears win a game this year? Asking for a friend. I don't know.
I tell you what, whether if they don't get this one tonight, it could be a long couple of weeks, maybe a month before they even have another chance.
Maybe.
I'm saying, it's a
maybe.
Big maybe with a big question mark.
Out to the phone lines we go. Greg joins us. Good evening, Greg.
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Well, we're doing fine. A little bit of a bummer to hear about Dick Butkus for sure. I'm sure you remember Dick Butkus. I think we all do that are a certain age.
I'll tell you, I grew up in his neighborhood. I grew up in Roseland.
Yep.
He lived only a few blocks from me. Of course, he's about 6 years older than me, but he was a legend even back in the 50s when I lived in Roseland. And wow, what a football player!
Yeah,
oh, brother.
Yeah.
Well,
no doubt about it.
Yep.
I wanted to talk to you about this Bolingbrook program.
Mm-hmm.
I heard they're moving out of the Southwest Suburban Blue.
Yeah, this is the last year. They are heading over to the Southwest Prairie with the Minookas and the Oswego's of the world.
Well, why are they doing that? And what does it mean for the Southwest Blue?
It's a good question. It's one that we certainly have brought up from a football perspective. I don't think it's a great move. I mean, Joe, I don't know. You have some thoughts.
Yeah, no, I again, with the program at Bolingbrook, the conference that they're in right now fits them to a T. They go to this other one. I mean, they could conceivably run roughshod over it. I just don't think it's going to could prepare them for the playoffs.
Greg, there's always been in that district, obviously they're the same school district as Romeoville, and there's always been an appeal to get them together with Romeoville for a long time now. And I'm sure that has a little something to do with it. I think it's for the other sports as well. Let's face it, basketball has become as big now, and it may be in some ways even bigger than football's been at Bolingbrook.
Right.
And I think most people that you will ask, Greg, will tell you that at least from a basketball perspective, the Prairie is probably as equal, a little bit better than the Blue right now.
I agree with that.
From that standpoint. So there's some pros and cons with everything. But yeah, Greg, that's your reaction is kind of the reaction what I think most people had, and certainly most football people had. But Greg, they have their reasons.
I'm gonna miss that game.
Well, here
I'm in the East.
Greg, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna fill you in on a little something here, okay? Just between you and me, because we know no one else listens to this show.
That's right.
I think what you're gonna see, and again, I can't really directly quote a source on this, but I got some pretty good sources. You're going to see some changes in the Southwest Suburban Blue. I think you're going to see them sooner rather than later. And I would keep an eye on the teams over in the DuPage Valley side as being candidates to move over.
Oh.
Well,
that's...
Where's the bell, Evan? Ring the bell. Ding, 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 ding. God, we got to get that bell back. Yeah, that's been the talk for a while, Greg. That's been the talk for a while.
Yeah, competition-wise, it would make some sense.
It does.
I almost could see East as an independent doing, playing good teams from other conferences if they can't find a conference that's competitive.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know how close you followed it, but the DuPage Valley's had a lot of issues. As far as, once they split apart, those teams split apart and went to the Duquesne Conference, the remaining teams in the DVC have really struggled trying to fill games. And, they end up having to play each other. At one point, they're playing each other 2 or 3 times in a regular season just to fill out a schedule. And I think joining, at least from an enrollment side, it makes some sense. From a distance standpoint, it makes some sense. And quite honestly, Greg, I think it'd be one of the few options that the DVC schools would actually have. That would actually take them in and welcome them. So keep an eye on that a little bit. Keep that in the back of your mind that we could see that happen maybe.
Thanks for the insight.
Well, my favorite saying, Greg, the sun will shine on a dog's butt every once in a while. So
you get this right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, well, it's a big F, but we'll see. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, Greg drops off. We'll bring in Bob. Hello, Bob.
What's up, guys?
We're doing fine. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, we are too. I'm sure you have memories of Dick Butkus.
Oh, yeah, a great ball player.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Too bad to see him go.
Yeah, just look, Joe, I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
Because he's been very active. He's been at Bear games this year, and he was doing a podcast, and it looked like things were going pretty well. But hey, when it's your time, it's your time.
Yeah, that number comes up. That's it.
No doubt about it.
Sure.
A great Twitter follow.
Oh, I know. Everyone
was
said he was great
Twitter follow.
So we'll see what happens. Leo, do you know anything about Leo?
I think they're about average.
About as much analysis that we can give you.
It's 1 in 5, all I know.
That's about all,
I'm impressed. Look, I'm impressed they've been able to keep the school open. It's a struggle. But, Joe, as you all know, what keeps that school open is the alumni base.
Without a doubt.
The alumni base has been very good to Leo High School. And, they still to this day contribute pretty heavily.
Well, probably about 20, 25 years ago, there was talk.
Oh, I know. I've heard it.
Their money together to put a school in
Orland. Yeah, they still own all that. They still have all that land out in Orland.
Own the land.
They haven't done anything with it. So I think you're okay. I think you get that magical 5th win this week, and things go well. You can wind up 7-2 here, Bob.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah,
yes, for sure.
Last week, did things really start coming together? Is that what we kind of saw from the Hillman last week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
From what I saw on a little bit of the film that I saw, the passing game was clicking.
Well,
especially with Mr. Washington had a great game.
Isn't that kind of what everyone's been kind of waiting for to happen?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Obviously that's a great sign if that can continue going into the end of the year here.
Yep. Keep everybody healthy now.
Yep.
For all the teams in the area.
Yep.
It's on the menu tomorrow.
I'm probably gonna make some brats and hot dogs.
Okay.
Some of the guys want that. So.
Yeah. Do you keep chili in the back a little bit? Do you wait till it gets a little cooler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold out,
Yeah.
Good time for it.
It'll be a little chillier, but we're not going to get quite to that chill yet.
No,
but
not yet.
Right.
we'll stay tuned. All right, Bob.
You guys have a good night.
Thanks,
All
sir.
right,
You
Bob,
too.
thank you.
And quickly, we'll go out to the phone lines. The other Bob joins us. Hello, other Bob.
Hello, fellas. How are you?
Doing
Bob.
fine. How are you?
Oh, pretty good for Thursday.
Yep.
For Bears Thursday, no less, huh?
Yeah, well.
Kind of quizzy stomach, right, Bob?
Yeah.
We're definitely all together on that one. But I do have a couple things I'd like to bring up tonight.
Fire
Maybe
away.
you guys can shed some light on these. Number one, earlier in the year, I heard or read somewhere about a freshman quarterback from Carmel,
Yes.
Carmel Catholic.
Yes.
I've not seen or heard anything about him lately. Do you know if he's been playing varsity ball? How's he doing?
No.
And what's going on with the recruiting
So
side?
what I've heard, sure, the recruiting side, I mean, the kid already has about 5 or 6 Power 5 offers. He's a freshman, Joe.
Wow.
Yeah. So his name's Trey Taylor. He's a freshman. Other Bob, I believe he's been playing JV all year.
Okay.
Sophomore level JV, however they do it at Carmel. And obviously he's putting up big numbers and has been the talk. Carmel is a very good senior quarterback. You'll obviously see him tomorrow night. His name is Johnny Weber. Big kid, probably about 6'3",
Yeah,
probably
big.
200 pounds.
Big dude, Bob.
Committed to SEMO, Southeast Missouri State. So they're a good team, other Bob. They're a team that have been coming on the last couple of years. Jason McKee, former Chicago Bear, who is actually working for the Bears now, taking that program over the last 2 years. His son, I believe, is a sophomore linebacker who's a very good player. Very young team, but very athletic team. And it should be a good game against Providence tomorrow night.
I'm glad to see it, and hopefully they keep building. It's always good to have good teams representing the conference.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it's been, that's been one of the controversies, other Bob, and we're up against the time, but maybe we got time after the break. We'll bring it back up. But the whole merger of the CCL ESCC, the impact it's had this year, both good and bad. So we're gonna bring that up maybe after the break, and we'll talk about it a little more. Okay.
Sounds good. One other quick thing, if you don't have a chance to talk about it now, if you might bring it up later.
Yep.
4 teams with 4 wins who you might think are in trouble.
You got it.
Based on who they have left.
I got 2 right off the top of my head in the area. So there you go.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll definitely bring it up, brother Bob.
You know more about a lot of the teams will be playing than a lot of us do.
You got it.
Thanks.
All right, other Bob.
Take care of yourself.
All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. You are listening to the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
You've heard all the ads. You keep putting it off. Make today the day you call Advantage Driver Training and change your career. 4 short weeks from now, you can have your CDL driver's license and a whole new job when you call Advantage Driver Training today. You've heard all the advantages of getting your CDL truck driver's license from Advantage Driver Training, like choosing from day or evening classes taught by experienced truck drivers with small class sizes in a Secretary of State approved CDL school. This is a whole new career in 4 short weeks with one low, all-inclusive price and no hidden costs. Not all driver training schools are the same. So do your homework and take advantage of Advantage Driver Training's huge new facility for your future. The opportunities are better than ever before. So let's get this CDL career thing done this fall. Call Advantage Driver Training today or go online, advantage-drivertraining.com. Advantage Driver Training, going the extra mile for you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Got a problem with your car? Here's a chance to talk to the experts. Listen in this Thursday at 9:35 to Car Talk with the experts from the Service Department at Darcy Buick GMC. Call in with your questions about any vehicle and get honest, experienced answers about your car. Plus, get helpful tips for keeping your car in great shape for every season. Listen to Car Talk this Thursday at 9:35 a.m. Brought to you by Darcy Buick GMC on Essington Road in Joliet and at darcymotors.com. Right here at 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You will never have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
In your car, at home, on the job. AM radio has more than 80 million listeners each month. For more than a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. Visit wearebroadcasters.com and tell us how you depend on AM.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. EDGYTIM, along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and Evan Bredesen, picking up the phones and spinning the dials and keeping the hamster wheel going. And it's keeping us on the air, Joe.
Yeah, sure is.
Again, want to say hello to everyone watching us live on YouTube and other various streaming services that are picking up the broadcast. I know this. You can always go to my Twitter feed at EDGYTIM. You can go right at the very top and look at that, Coach Joe. Look at those two handsome guys up on the front page there. I'll show it to you in a second. Joe, this edition and every edition in Pigskin Preview brought to you by our State Farm agents, Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet, like a good neighbor.
State Farm is there.
Hey, look at those two handsome guys live right there at the very top of my Twitter page. At EDGYTIM, you can go watch the show. Did we have Rita on the phone? Let's bring Rita in. Hello, Rita.
Hello, Rita.
Hey, how are you guys?
Well, we had to up our quota of women callers, so we had to take your call regardless. I think we lose our radio license if we didn't take your call. So
I see Rita a lot.
Well, I ran a couple times to Providence picking up my granddaughter, and we were talking about football and this and that. And I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to call in last week. I was a little tied up with my mom. She's had some health problems. So
sorry to hear that.
A little rough. So, but I was going to say I wanted to call in last week because I went to Lincoln Wake Russ game 2 weeks ago, and I'm not kidding you. They were like on fire. I hadn't seen a game like that in a long time.
Was that the game they beat Central?
No, that's when they beat Bolingbrook.
Oh, okay.
God, that was a game. You should have been there. I'm telling you. It was like, I don't know who was more excited, the kids on the field or the fans in the stands. It was nuts. Yeah. I thought it was fantastic.
I mean, they're having a heck of a year. I mean, you look at it, and Joe, we talked about it when we came in the studio again. We saw earlier in the year, we saw Lincoln Way Central beat O'Fallon and thought that was a terrific win. And then was it the next week? I think it was Lincoln Way West beat Central, and we're scratching our heads thinking, wow, West must be really good. And you know, with all the issues they had with Crafton out for the year, and Chase steps up and does a terrific job at quarterback. It's going to be a fun season, fun end of the year, and fun into the playoffs for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I follow all the teams, and I get the, scores after all the games are over on Friday night. And, I mean, another reason we're tied up is because I go and see my two grandsons. They play for University of Wisconsin Oshkosh.
Oh, there you go. Oh, those are a blast.
Well, they're both Lincoln Way graduates, and Brian White, he's the starting center, and he was at the game 2 weeks ago. In fact, his coaches are very happy to see him, and his brother is on defense, Daniel. So my husband and I are like all over the place. me tell you. I mean, we've been up in Wisconsin every single weekend, and this week they're playing at University of Wisconsin Stout. So it's going to be a good game. I'm really excited. So
Well,
that's
as a parent of a former student athlete at University of Wisconsin Platteville, you will get to see some of the wonderful areas where a lot of those schools are located. I'm being totally serious. You will see some great places. What is it? Stevens Point is really nice. Eau Claire is really nice.
I've been to Eau Claire.
I mean, we've been all over the place. I mean, we've been Eau Claire. We were up at, we go to Plattsville, I think, this year, towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, but they're both doing well, and it's very good. In fact, Daniel was recruited by Eau Claire and by Oshkosh too. So I mean, and Brian too. He was recruited to Platteville, but then he made a change and went to Oshkosh. But they're both having a blast. I'm telling you, my daughter is going to have a meltdown when this is Brian's last year because they gained a year of eligibility because of COVID.
Yep.
And so they're just having a ball.
By the way, West has a huge game this week taking on Bradley.
Yes, they do.
That very well could be for the conference championship. So
yes.
Man, I wish I could be there. We have to leave tomorrow morning to go up to Stout. So
I know.
It's like a 5.5-hour drive, and we don't try to drive that in one day on Saturday, and it's too long. Yeah. So, but no, we'll watch our little texts that come across the screen. We'll find out who won. So
yeah, always great to hear from you, Rita.
Yes, Rita. Have a safe trip.
Oh yeah, we will. And okay, see you guys later.
All right, Rita. Thanks for calling. All right. Appreciate Rita listening and calling. Rita's a longtime listener. She usually hit us up with a message every once in a while on the stream. And
I see her husband.
Yep.
In the parking lot. I talk football with them in the afternoon.
Let's talk about your weekend last week. What game did you end up doing Friday?
Lincoln Way East and Lockport.
Didn't work out the way you thought it was gonna.
No, not at all. I made that comment once I went to the Tin Man, the 40-point rule.
Yeah.
Just dominating. I mean, it's as we talk about, and we are going to have Rob on pretty soon, but you and I have talked about Lincoln Way East offensively. We talk about Joliet Catholic and Wilmington keeping the ball away from offenses.
Yeah.
Lincoln Way East can do it too. And they don't run they run the spread shotgun. But I tell you what, defensively, oh boy, they are really good. And only one time or a couple times, if they did complete a pass Lockport, there was at least one or two Lincoln Way East defenders that were ready to make a tackle. There were one or two times that a missed tackle made extra yards, but it was just a clinic, in my opinion, defensively by Lincoln Way East.
Yeah, I went to the 105th meeting of Batavia and Geneva last Friday, and just a great game. And it's great to see Geneva back. They're certainly much better than they've been in a long time. Batavia is very good. Don't need to tell you that. Don't need to tell Lincoln Way East fans that. They know that firsthand. And they're going to be very, very tough in 7A. I don't think there's any doubt they're going to be one of the favorites. I think everyone's almost at this point expect them to run into Mount Carmel again.
Yep.
So very, very strong. Geneva dropping down to 6A. So that could be kind of interesting in 6A.
Yes.
Maybe a team like our friend Willie over at Lamont winds up making it. And we'll talk about that in a little while.
Right.
That could be a Geneva team that could kind of be a nice little surprise there in the 6A field. And then Saturday, Joe.
Yes.
I went to see my first ever 8-man football game. I went to lovely South Beloit. Do you know what's north of Beloit? Wisconsin.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Great time. First of all, South Beloit High School is like less than 10 years old. It's like brand new. It's really nice. But that high school has been in existence for like 150 years. They've been playing football for like over 100 years. Mm-hmm. And again, it was a situation where their numbers were declining, enrollments were declining, participation numbers were declining. COVID really hit that program hard. A lot of kids didn't come back out. It was either co-op or just stop playing football. And lot of pride there. I got to meet a lot of these people and talk to them, and they said, look, this allows us to continue to play as South Beloit High School. And it's been highly successful. Jim Morrow's a veteran coached McChesney Park, Harlem for 16, 17 years. So he's been in that area, well known in that area, terrific coach. Got the program started. First year was a little rough. Had about 14, 15 kids, I think, the first year. Now they're in the 40s.
Wow.
And they played St. Thomas More, who drove from Champaign all the way up there. They kind of the same situation. They were a small private, really hard to keep their numbers up. And, and again, it was not a popular decision. It's St. Thomas More to go 8-man. But since they've done it, their numbers are up. Their roster was in the low to mid 40s. And Joe, it was football.
And there's enough teams in Illinois that are playing 8-man as you can fill out a schedule.
It's almost doubled every year for the last 3 years.
And you went to the state championships, correct, last year?
No, we didn't make it.
Okay.
We didn't make it. That was like like the week before, and just there was a lot going on. But it's football. People ask me, well, how's it different? Okay, it's still a 100-yard field. It's not as wide. It's truncated a little bit. And if you go, I've got free video and photos on my website. I've got them linked on my message board. I've been tweeting out links. I'll do that for another day or two. And you can watch. And I took some of the footage where you can see like where the regular out of bounds is versus what the 8-man out of bounds is. Made sure I focused in on a lot of the formations so you can get. And Joe, they run a lot of option.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different. It's more wide open. Because of 8-man, you don't have the 11 guys. Mm-hmm. And if you're a skilled kid, you got to love 8-man football because you just have more room to operate.
More wide open spaces.
Yeah. I mean, so it's definitely more of an up and down game, but it's not just 5 wide and chucking it everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's double wing and it's dive and it's counter and it's football.
Yeah.
Very physical, very hard hitting, very fast. Joe, it was that. Tell people it's football.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of fun. It was a good experience, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely will be back. I definitely will go back and we'll cover another. I'll probably do 1A or 2A next time, but yeah. Try to broaden my horizons, Joe.
They have different divisions in 8-man.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah, they have different conferences now, and they have a playoff system, and they have a 16-team bracket, and they do their whole playoff system. I'll say within 2 years, it'll be an IHSA sport. It'll be sanctioned. It's just a matter of time. Again, their numbers continue to increase, and the schools that have made the switch over, none of them have gone back. They've all stayed 8-man because they enjoy it. It's working for them.
Good.
So there you go. That was my 8-man experience over the weekend. Let's go through the schedule a little bit before we go up against a break. Joe, Reed Custer gets a big win last week. They're at Mantino.
Reed Custer at 2-4 is in playoff mode right now. They have to.
Yep.
They have to win their last 3 games. I am going to pick Reed Custer in this one.
The Tone at Streeter.
The Tone.
Okay. You sure about that?
Yes.
One of the top games, I'll argue one of the top games in Chicagoland this week, Wilmington at Coal City. Joe, we've been talking about Coal City for a while now.
Ever since after they got beat by Morris, but so far everybody that Morris has played is beat. I would say they're the hottest team in our area. I mean, you got
not named Morris
besides Lincoln Way East and Morris.
Not named Morris.
Yeah, not named Morris or Lincoln Way East.
Morris at home. They will host Woodstock. We will have Alan Thorson on in the 7 o'clock hour. But Joe, the Morris football team is rolling.
They are.
Huge win last week over Richmond Burton.
Yes, and it wasn't close. Well, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't close.
2 schools very familiar with one, Joe Rodriguero, Bremen at Lamont.
I was just, you and I talked about this, kind of shocked.
Didn't see that coming.
No, not at all. Dan Stell beat your alma mater last week. So,
don't worry. My alma mater's coming to town soon, Lamont.
The last game of the year. Although your alma mater under Anthony Pignatello is in the playoffs, Lamont is, they've got Bremen this week at 4-2. Richards is 4-2, and then of course TF North, and that's going to be a Thursday night game. I heard at Lamont against
ESPN game.
ESPN
game. National TV.
Yes. Yeah, they've got to get 2 out of these next 3. I'm picking Lamont to win this one.
Well, you're right. They've got to win. This is almost a must win for them.
Yes.
Joliet West at Romeoville. Joliet West going to wind up being 8-1 this year, aren't they?
They certainly are. Again, very, very good team, and Coach Teo has done a great job with them. I wonder if they got the quarterback back, but it doesn't matter in this game here. I'm going to pick Joliet West.
The next game, someone takes a step closer and another week alive, and the loser of this game, Joe, puts the pads away after week 9.
Yes.
Plainfield Central. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread that completely. Plainfield Central at Joliet Central. Forget about what I just said.
Well, but as you said, Plainfield Central's got to keep
They
winning.
need to win. No doubt. No doubt.
Last game of the year against Joliet West is going to be the key game for them.
Yes. Plainfield South at Plainfield East.
I'm picking Plainfield East.
Plainfield East could sneak in.
Yeah.
They really could.
Yeah.
They really could. Harvey Jackson, again, a couple wins in a row here. You get a little excitement going here. You get a win this week. You get to 3-4, Joe.
He's got a few players too.
He does.
A few players.
Boy, we need to talk about my Minooka Indians because, Joe, the more I look at this, the more nervous I'm getting here, buddy boy.
Yeah, they're at 4-2, and I'm going to pick them against Plainfield North because both teams defensively are very good.
Right.
But Minooka, to
offensively, they're
a little bit more. Minooka, a little bit more. I know they didn't have a very good game last week, but at 4-2, after this one, they've got 5-1 Oswego, which might be 6-1 when they play them. And we talked about West Aurora.
We just don't know.
We just don't know about them.
Lost their first game last week.
Yeah. So this is one Minooka can get and qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's. Do I dare say a must-win for Minooka this week? I think you have to.
Well, again, if they don't win, it's panic time.
Yeah,
because you just never know with the last week against West Aurora.
And I believe that game is at West Aurora.
Okay,
as well in week 9. So that's not good. You know what, Joe? We're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, out to the phone lines, Rob Zavonar will join us from Lincoln Way East. You are listening to the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Will County Seniors, a nonprofit organization serving senior citizens and their families, has provided resources and programming to senior citizens in the county since 1966. Through a variety of activities and support services, Will County Seniors helps adults over 55 maintain their independent, active lifestyle. As our community has grown over the decades, so have our services to the families of seniors. The next phase of Will County Seniors will be the opening of the Ovation Center in Romeoville. The over 100,000 square foot Ovation Center will serve as a gathering place for seniors and a place where seniors and their families can go for valuable services. Leasing offices within the Ovation Center provide an ideal opportunity for businesses or service organizations that work with seniors and their families, such as medical offices or massage therapy, or professional services including legal, financial, and insurance services. For more information about leasing space for your growing business in the Ovation Center, visit theovationcenter.org. That's theovationcenter.org.
2 times the healthy blood pressure support? That's a number to rave about. Thanks to Super Beets Heart Chew's unique 2X ingredient that helps promote normal blood pressure nearly 2 times more effectively than diet and exercise alone. Super Beets is America's #1 selling beet brand and the only #1 cardiologist, doctor, and pharmacist recommended beet brand for heart health support. A clinical study showed that the key ingredient in Super Beets Heart Chews is nearly 2 times more effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. And they're part of a brand with over 60,000 5-star ratings and reviews. So double your potential with a special offer exclusively for radio listeners. Get a free 30-day supply of Super Beets Heart Chews and 15% off your first order at getsuperbeets.com with code RADIO. That's a free 30-day supply and 15% off for radio listeners only at getsuperbeets.com, code RADIO.
Your taxes are overdue, but you still haven't filed. Maybe you haven't filed for years. What started out as one mistake has now turned into a major issue, but now it's overwhelming. Don't wait any longer. Call Greg Severson of the CPA firm of Cordano, Severson and Associates. You've heard about Greg Severson for years and how he's helped many other people and businesses deal with the IRS, from fixing past errors to reducing your back taxes to working out reasonable payment plans. Whatever your issue is with the IRS, Greg has the experience and the success to help you or your business get through this. Don't let the problem get any worse. Give yourself some peace of mind and call Greg Severson today. Call the firm that's provided quality tax advice for over 50 years right here in the Will County area. 815-744-1900. That's 815-744-1900. Cordano, Severson and Associates, a firm that you can trust and your business can afford. Co-founder and proud member of the Will Buy Local Alliance.
Let's be honest, insurance rates have skyrocketed over the last 18 months and none of us are happy. This is State Farm agent Kevin Malloy, and I feel the same pain you do when the bill comes in the mail. When times are at their worst, people are looking for someone they can trust. And with 5 consecutive years of being named the best of Will County in the insurance category, why not consider calling the Malloy Agency? 815-463-5800. Like a good neighbor, we are and will be there when you need us.
Pigskin Preview with Edgy Tim on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Edgy Tim, along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro, Evan Bredesen, and we appreciate everyone listening and watching. Hello to everybody watching us live on YouTube and everyone listening on the Odyssey app, as well as just listening on the good old radio over the air. We appreciate you joining us. Looking forward to a very busy Week 7, some terrific games in the area, which Joe and I have been going over a little bit. Our game of the week will be Providence Catholic hosting Carmel Catholic. That's a 7:30 kickoff. We will talk to Tyler Plants in the 7 o'clock hour and break down the Celtics' take on that game. Big game, obviously, for both teams this time of the year. We are hoping to get hooked up here with Rob Zavonar momentarily, and we will talk about the program we've all come to take just complete advantage of, because you just expect them to win every week.
For granted, of course. Yep.
And I think we're going to bring him in right now. All right, joining us is the head coach of your Lincoln Way East Griffins. It is Rob Zavonar. And Coach, welcome aboard, and thanks for letting the Three Stooges come out yesterday.
Right.
We had a good time.
Yes.
Oh man, it was great to see you guys, and it wasn't the intense practice till you guys got there, and then we cranked it up a little bit when we saw you. You motivated us, and you got us going out there yesterday.
Yeah, it's always good to come by and see your guys, and we enjoy watching your practices, because believe me, you kind of know what you're doing at this point. I think you got a handle on it.
Yeah, I think you do too.
Well, we appreciate that, but in all seriousness, what you guys do and stopping out each week and seeing a kid and recognizing a kid, it's not just that individual kid, but the programs overall feel special and important, and it means a lot to us. So thank you very much.
Well, I want to talk about your game tomorrow night, because you have a very special night planned on tap. It's something that you've been doing for a while now. And Rob, you are one of the first schools that I think really kind of embraced this program and went with it. Again, you're hosting Homewood Flossmoor tomorrow night, and I believe it's your Salute to the Troops night, correct?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you bringing that up, and let me talk about it just for a few minutes. It's going to be a special night out at East, not only with a tremendous opponent in HF, but CS News is going to be live on the scene and doing some remote broadcasting. And then, as you mentioned, it is our annual Salute to Troops night, where we stop and recognize, all former veterans, of course, and current military members. We do it a couple different ways. Each of our 91 varsity players will carry a U.S. flag into the stadium to honor our veterans. And then also we have a commemorative jersey for them to wear tomorrow night. We get a few sponsors for the event that really enjoy helping the kids with those jerseys and flags. And just to stop and take a minute and let everybody understand that not everybody gets to go out and play football or be a journalist or be a coach or whatever profession you choose. You don't always get to do that everywhere in this world, and we're awful fortunate. And there's a reason we have that, and it's for those who have come before and risked and given their lives and to our current members as well. It's important for us. I had a brother in the Marines and a dad in the Navy, and I always say I took the easy way out to go coach high school football. But we've got, and throughout the game, there's going to be announcements where our senior players and our coaching staff are honoring their family members, and you'll hear it over the PA. And I think we have a pretty big number of seniors, about 35, and over 20 of them have military members in their family or previously did. Everyone from Purple Heart winners from World War II to Vietnam and even present day. They'll make those announcements through the game, and as well as some of our coaching staff has family as well. So it's a great night. We got to remember we got to play a football game, but some things are a little bigger than that. Part of tomorrow night it is certainly. So thank you for letting me shout out for that.
And Rob, I've been fortunate enough a couple times in my years doing games on the radio that I've been out there and I had uncles that fought in World War II and in the Korean War, and just seeing what you guys do for this. If anybody who has not seen it, it's tough enough to get into Lincoln Way East parking lot for a football game, let alone the stadium. But if there's anybody that wants to see this, it's
a spectacle. It's awesome to see.
I would recommend this, and just honoring America and all the people, like you said, Rob, that have gave their lives for our country and the people who are defending it right now. It was a privilege for me to do the games, and it is a very, as you said, and you have said too, it is a very special night, and I really
always
enjoyed
had an
that.
honorary captain. I think 2-3 years ago, right after COVID, we had Lance Bokang's grandfather and Larry and Connie. There was came out. He's 101 years old. They brought him out and stood up. He flipped the coin, and he was a World War II veteran and had all kinds of war accolades. So that was special. Last year we had a wounded warrior come out, and then this year we have one of Lincoln Way's own, a man named Kirby Atwell, who played for Rob Galimi on the 1997 state championship team, and Kirby went on to West Point and is now a very successful businessman and continues to give back to veterans. So we also have a captain for the game as well. And I got a few shout outs too, because when you're a coach, you guys can relate to this a little bit. If you steal from one person, it's called plagiarism, but if you steal from more than one, it's called research, right?
Yeah.
So I have two guys I got to throw a shout out to. The carrying the flags actually came from former Romeo coach Jeff Kuna, down in Georgia, and somebody down there did it, and he gave me the idea. And then, last month I was looking through. I'm a big fan of Willie, of course, Brett's before, but Willie Hayes up at Lamont, and really got the commemorative jersey, and I kind of stole that idea for them too. So I give credit to Jeff and Willie and other people that are trying to do the same thing out there as well.
Oh, I can tell you firsthand, I can count more than a few coaches that have taken more than a few things from a certain Lincoln Way East head coach.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, what is imitation is the greatest form of flattery, right?
Yeah, that's right. You got that right.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But there's one high school in particular that even copies your entrance to the field. And I'm like, come on, dude, really? You're going to take that from Rob too?
Yeah,
I got personal, Rob. I'm sorry. I got a little.
They played for us or for us. They have those editing or those rights. So
I got a little defensive for you with that Zimmerman guy, but it's all right. Well, we let it go.
No,
He's part of your
appreciate you having our back, brothers.
Here's something I want to ask you. And Joe and I think we talked about this last week a little bit. Obviously, the amount of success you've had and the consistent amount of success you've had as a program has been nothing short of amazing. How do you combat and battle complacency? And not just for you and your staff and your kids. How do you keep the community on board and not get over complacent? Because, pal, I hate to tell you, but people kind of expect you to win every single week now.
Yeah, and you know what? I completely understand what you're saying, and I think we are fortunate to have coaches that stay driven, and you have the group of players the next year that want to form their own legacy. So you stay passionate and driven for them. And then, in terms of expectations, we kind of mess those up, right? Because anything short of a state championship can be a letdown at Lincoln Way East. And that's not always great when you have a good season and feel a little disappointed, but I think we'd much rather have those expectations than to be the other way around. They're not going to fire up the fire trucks for parades at 5 wins in the playoffs around our place, certainly. But at the same time, I heard from Tony Dungy a long time ago that any type of pressure that comes as a result of success, you can kind of feel as if that's an honor. And so if we put a little pressure on ourselves to succeed at the highest level, we put ourselves there, and the standard's the standard, and we'll continue to strive to be the best we can. And again, guarding against complacency, I think one thing you have to go in and say is, we can't say that we're going to do it that way just because we've always done it that way, right? That's probably a statement you don't want to make. You always look for new things. And you guys were out there the other day. If you would have told me a few years ago, we would have had drones flying around and TV screens and this and that going on. So we're always kind of looking up the ante, and sometimes it's gotten away from me a little bit even. So as I mentioned to you, I was trading 2 VHS tapes with Bill Moselle at the Harlem Speedway not too many years ago. But it's kind of evolved. The technology, just like everything else in the world, it's kind of come over the game of football. It's amazing how much high school football coaching has become staring at a computer screen watching huddle all day instead of out in the field coaching. So good and bad with that. But at the end of the day, we're very fortunate that we have kids that, we get an awful lot out of it because they love the game. They love each other. And, as a coach, you hope you can find a connection with them and a love for them. And I think as long as they know that you do love and care about them as individuals, you got a chance to push them and make them as good as they can be on the field, because that's your job as a coach, is to take kids farther than they could get on their own, right?
Well, Edge, you talked about complacency. Well, we did, as you know, we did the game on Friday night, and the defense for Lincoln Way East was suffocating, in my opinion. And I talked about that on the radio, and I talked to you on Friday night. But there was a time in that third quarter where the Lincoln Way defense missed a couple tackles, missed a couple assignments, and usually a lot of coaches will wait to see the end, maybe a score, whatever. But the head coach called the timeout. When I saw him walking out to the hash marks, I said, these guys are going to get an earful. But that was needed at that time. And I told you that after the game. I loved that timeout because of the fact not only did you stop momentum a little bit, but to me as a coach, it was more of a talk of focus and doing your job and not worrying about anybody else.
Yeah, no, and to their credit, Lockport had made some good plays. We tried to run a pressure, and they hit a 35-yarder on a man coverage. Then we had a personal foul for 15 more. Then we blew a tackle for 7-8 more. So all of a sudden they're first down and, in the red zone, 10, 15-yard line. And, we want to compete and try to win every play, and we hadn't done that in a little bit. And maybe it's the word you used to start this topic was complacency even within the game. So it wasn't really anything more than maybe what you said. I liked how you said it. Just get them refocused. And you go out there and you challenge them a little bit and you check their hearts and, check their minds a little bit. But the one good thing was when we got done correcting and our, the way that we correct a little bit, we told them what we're going to do. We're going to sit around and worried about the last 3 plays, or Coach Fitzgerald at Northwestern used to say you flush it, right? And we know what we flush in the bathroom every day. Well, you flush those bad plays, and let's play the next one. And then we got on a little roll. 4 plays later, we were off the field. And they hadn't scored. So, no, I agree with you. Every now and then, don't worry about the score or whatever. You just want to stay in the moment and compete. And we all, even as adults, of course, we all need a little accountability. So you give them that. And I just appreciated the way the kids responded.
Yes. Rob, appreciate you joining us. By the way, if you want to get a little tiny sneak peek of what those uniforms might look like tomorrow night, go to Lincoln Way East Football on Twitter, LW East Football. Little sneaky peeky of one of the jerseys there, just a little bit. Rob, appreciate you.
Yes.
Have fun tomorrow
Rob.
night. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, good luck, Rob.
Yeah, you guys are best. Anybody wants to come out, we're going to walk those flags in about 6:20, 6:25 and kick off at 7. And again, you guys are a blessing to all of us. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, that'll do it for hour number 1. Don't go anywhere. This is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Your home for Will County's news, talk, and sports. We're 1340 WJOL. From the Abreen Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. He's powerless to stop it. So President Biden says construction on a stretch of U.S. southern border wall will resume. ABC's Maria Villarreal in South Texas.
President Biden admitting he does not believe a wall is effective.
I tried to get them to reappropriate, to redirect that money. They didn't. They wouldn't. And in the meantime, there's nothing under the law other than they have to use the money for what is appropriate. I can't stop that.
But the reality this administration faces is stark. Tens of thousands crossing the border, more than 2.2 million since last October.
Mr. Biden promised as a candidate that he wouldn't build any more of the wall. The largest healthcare worker strike in U.S. history will continue tomorrow. Kaiser Permanente employees like ER Tech, Orlando Media want better pay and working conditions.
3 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks, whatever it takes. So we get a good contract, a fair comes to the table.
The union is promising a bigger strike next month without a deal. The former treasurer for Congressman George Santos's congressional bids has pleaded guilty to fraud conspiracy. Nancy Marks, also implicated, the New York Republican, embellished his campaign finance reports with fake donors and fake loans. A former University of Southern California doctor accused of sexual assault has been found dead.
Dr. George Tyndall, who was about to go on trial for a series of alleged sex crimes against his patients, was found dead in bed on Wednesday, according to his attorney. A friend, worried because she couldn't reach him, went to his home and he was dead. His attorney tells ABC News it appears to have been natural causes, but an autopsy will determine that. Tyndall's case caused USC to pay out over $1 billion to thousands of his former patients. His death will put an end to any trial for the doctor. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
NFL Hall of Fame linebacker Dick Butkus has died at the age of 80. You're listening to ABC News.
2 times the healthy blood pressure support? That's a number to rave about. Thanks to Superbeats Heart Chew's unique 2X ingredient that helps promote normal blood pressure nearly 2 times more effectively than diet and exercise alone. Superbeats is America's #1 selling beet brand and the only #1 cardiologist, doctor, and pharmacist recommended beet brand for heart health support. A clinical study showed that the key ingredient in Superbeats Heart Chews is nearly 2 times more effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. And they're part of a brand with over 60,000 5-star ratings and reviews. So double your potential with a special offer exclusively for radio listeners. Get a free 30-day supply of Superbeats Heart Chews and 15% off your first order at getsuperbeats.com with code RADIO. That's a free 30-day supply and 15% off for radio listeners only at getsuperbeets.com, code RADIO.
The Maryland Supreme Court is hearing arguments in the case of Adnan Syed, who was sentenced to life for the murder of his former girlfriend, Hae Min Lee. His conviction was vacated, but reinstated. ABC contributor Brian Buckmeyer says it's unlikely the court will decide to jail Syed again.
This is a very strong signal from the judge saying that not only is the evidence suggesting that he is not guilty, but he does not present to be a danger to society, and there's no reason to have him locked up. This shows me, at least, that the judge is leaning very heavily towards he will not go back in prison, but I wouldn't guarantee it one way or another.
Syed's case was featured in the Serial podcast. A side effect of the pandemic, syphilis cases are on the rise.
Federal health officials say cases of many sexually transmitted diseases ticked upward starting in 2020, when prevention and treatment services were disrupted by the pandemic. Donna Fox of the Toledo Health Department says
syphilis does not go away unless it's treated.
Complicating the situation now is a nationwide shortage of bicillin, the drug used most often to treat the disease. Its maker, Pfizer, plans to ramp up production through the end of next year. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Wisconsin Republicans want to make it a crime to be naked in public for any reason and for a child to attend any event where people don't have clothes on. 2 bills were introduced after a photograph circulated this year of a child who attended Madison's annual naked bike ride. This is ABC News.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain.
Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. These add great value and beauty to your home. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reduchene.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's be honest, insurance rates have skyrocketed over the last 18 months and none of us are happy. This is State Farm agent Kevin Malloy, and I feel the same pain you do when the bill comes in the mail. When times are at their worst, people are looking for someone they can trust. And with 5 consecutive years of being named the best of Will County in the insurance category, why not consider calling the Malloy Agency? 815-463-5800. Like a good neighbor, we are and will be there when you need us.
At Jiffy Lube, we believe every aging adult deserves to be seen, heard, and cared for. That's why we're proud to partner with Meals on Wheels to ensure that no aging adult goes without a nutritious meal and the human connection they need to live a fulfilling life. Join us in making a difference in the lives of our aging neighbors by donating at your local Jiffy Lube service center throughout the month of October. 100% of funds raised support Meals on Wheels programs in your local community. For a list of Jiffy Lube locations, visit chicagolandjiffylube.com. Jiffy Lube. Drive to do more.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the hour 2 of the week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodegaro and Evan Bredesen. Welcome aboard this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview, brought to you by our State Farm agents John Wright and Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
Congrats to Lincoln Way East senior running back Nouri Muhammad, our Week 6 Player of the Week award winner, sponsored by Kevin Malloy. Good to be out at Lincoln Way East. And in case you missed it, we had Rob Zavonar on just at the very end of the first hour. Busy hour number 2, our game of the week, Joe.
Yes, sir.
6:05 Friday Night Lights, 7:30 kickoff on the Emerald Isle. Providence Catholic hosting Carmel Catholic, Carmel of Mundelein.
Yes.
Coming to town. You get plenty of the other Carmel in a few weeks down the road. But in the meantime,
Next week.
In the meantime, we'll go with that. Joe?
Yes, sir.
We're going to bring in our next guest on the phone. And Joe, I'll tell you right now, I have nominated him twice this year for the Bears Coach of the Week award.
Rightfully so.
And both times he's lost. So it's showing you the kind of pull that I have with that award.
Yes.
But darn it, he's our Coach of the Week anyway. Welcome to Alan Thorson from Morrison. Coach, Congratulations, and I know when you get a big win on Cornfest, well, it doesn't get much better than that in Morris, now does it?
No, it was a great Friday night. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate getting to talk to you guys, and thanks for all the nominations. I really do appreciate it. I don't think the Bears and I guess we just don't get along. I'm not happy with their play, so they must not be happy with my coaching.
Join the club.
It's a mutual feeling, but no, it's no, things are great, and it was a really great win for us against Richmond Burton. It was an awesome game.
Yes, Al, again, congratulations. We were talking about this last week, and we go through the schedule and stuff, and I said that you play a team like Richmond Burton last year, and I don't know if I couldn't go back in the history books with Morris football, but I don't know if that was the first time you played them or when they were really. I mean, they've been good the last 6-7 years, and
that was the first regular season game they've lost since 18.
Okay, so playing them last year, in my opinion, benefited you guys a little bit, knowing maybe what you were going up against or knowing what they like to run for this year.
Oh, absolutely. I think last year's game helped us. I mean, even last year, it was a pretty embarrassing game on our part. We just didn't play up to our standard. At that point, we were undefeated and not real familiar with them. I think we as coaches knew about them, but the kids just kind of thought, oh, this is some faraway school. They're a smaller school. They're a good program. They're a really good program. Obviously, their record shows that. So, I think it was a learning experience last year, and it was motivation. And the thing about this year's team is if the people that really are on the outside and don't know about this team, we did lose some guys last year, but we brought a really good core of guys back. And I think this group, they're very motivated by kind of people doubting them. There was a lot of talk in the off season about, well, we lost 4 linemen, so Morris is going to be down. And, I think that really pushed them through the off season in the weight room and those sort of things. And, it's funny as a coach, I know we all try to avoid the outside distractions. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. I brought in every newspaper article last week telling us we were going to lose. Every podcast. I did. I blasted. I'll give Joe, you get all the credit in the world because I think you might have been the only guy in the area to pick us. But
Thank you.
It was one of those things that I think the kids just needed to hear. We wanted them to hear that message because it just feeds into who this group really is. And they are a motivated group. They've kind of been in the, I don't want to say shadow, but of the group that was ahead of them, the semifinal team we had. So it's just they really always kind of feel like they have something to prove. So last week's game, I think just the way they played the game out on the field, the intensity, the focus. I've been at Morris now for a long time. That was one of, if not the best game I've really been a part of, just from a pure execution from start to finish. I mean, our offense, scored on almost every possession. Defensively, other than the one touchdown, shut down a really good running attack, and even special teams were outstanding. So it really was a great game from the opening kickoff.
Well, and again, and this is really, I think it's kind of been a mainstay with you since you've been the head coach at Morris in the offense. I mean, you're about as balanced as you want to be. You look at stat wise what you've done. Carter Button's had an amazing year for you already. I mean,
so
17 touchdowns, 1 interception on the year. I mean, that doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, I mean, and we about 5 years ago, we went to a little bit more of an up-tempo offense, and we really, we still want to run the ball. Don't get me wrong, we still want to play Morris football and be physical up front and establish kind of the dominance of the offensive line. But again, we're gonna take what defenses give us, and Carter's been just an outstanding quarterback. He's actually tied for the school record for career touchdown passes. So we're hoping, obviously, tomorrow night he can beat that. It was Todd Schultz's record in 1992.
Wow.
Obviously played quarterback at Michigan State. So you're talking about some really good names here, and and it helps when you have a receiver like AJ Zweers, who's also set the school receiving record. So when you put a combination like that together, obviously we're going to put the ball in the air, but we have balanced attack. So Jacob Swartz is, I think, 50 yards away from 1,000 right now. Yeah. So to do that in 6 weeks, obviously we're doing some good things on the ground as well. And there's other weapons that we feel like we can get the ball to. Jack Wheeler's a 6'5" receiver for us. Ethan Mumbrew, Brett Bounds, some other really good receivers. So, yeah, obviously A.J. Zweers gets a lot of the attention, and, he's an all-state kind of guy. But we feel like there's a lot of weapons that we feel like we're a tough offense to stop. That's for sure.
I know, Coach, I'm going to go to the other side of the ball. And I watched a few of the highlights, but defensively, you guys are only giving up 10 points a game. And some guys that kind of, and I know you've talked about this first guy quite a bit, but, Blaine Beshore.
Beshore, yep.
Beshore, Carter Loudman, and
Yep.
Connor Mattill are three guys that I saw that I know you've talked about Bayshore, but those other two guys too can play football also.
Yeah, so defensively, we have a new defensive coordinator this year, Ryan Clausen. He's actually a former player of mine. He was on the 07 runner-up team and been one of our younger level assistants for years, has taken over as defensive coordinator. And he's doing a great job. He's real big on pre-snap movement, and we're just trying to give the defense as many different looks as possible. And the kids have really bought into what he's doing, and he's doing a great job. And Blaine Beshore is our leading tackler. He's a junior linebacker for us, and when you watch him, he's all over the field.
Yep.
I mean, he is in on almost every single tackle. He's really turning into an outstanding linebacker. Connor Mattill is one of our other linebackers, senior that got some playing time last year, but was behind some guys. He's just kind of, again, that mold of, kind of a player that he plays the game every single play like he's got something to prove, and I love that about him. And Carter Loudman is a defensive end. He's leading our team in sacks. Another one of our seniors that, again, just played behind some really good guys last year, and he's getting that experience now, and he's just gaining confidence every week. And especially when you go against some of these passing teams, I mean, he is really a force on the defensive end, and I think he's a guy that might get some college looks here pretty soon, just on his size and athletic ability.
Health-wise, where are you at going into this week?
We're really, actually, that's knock on wood. We are in really good shape. After a physical game like that, we've definitely, in my experience now, we lightened up big time this week. A lot of bags, a lot of just kind of getting back to the basics. And that's on purpose. We want to be able to. We're trying to hopefully have a really good run here. So we're trying to do our best that we can. And but yeah, right now everybody's healthy. Everybody is in really good shape for us. So that's definitely a positive.
Do you? I mean, what time of the year? And again, I know, okay, you're playing Woodstock, and I know it's one game at a time, and I know all the cliches. Do you at least start thinking a little bit about what a potential playoff field can look like?
Yeah.
When do you get to that point?
Honestly, it's kind of funny you ask that because it's kind of about this week. We still got some big games. We got a big one.
I know there's one. I know there's one week 9. I know there's one week 9.
We're not overlooking anybody, and obviously, we're gonna give our full attention to Woodstock this week, Ottawa next week, but we want an opportunity for that conference championship as well. But all those games. We started. I always kind of, when Seuss put this stuff out, I'll look at it and kind of, okay. But this is really the week we kind of started digging in a little more, getting kind of a feel for who we might play. So. 4A, 5A, usually we're on that bubble and it can drive you nuts, but it seems like this year we're digging into a little bit more of 4A. So, but we're not going to get too crazy with it, but we're starting to look a little bit more now for sure.
So is it a good thing or a bad thing when, we were hoping to have 1 through 32? Obviously that's not going to happen for you guys. Is it just revisiting old friends again when you're kind of looking what a playoff field can look like? Because let's face it, Alan, in a lot of cases, especially in 4A and 5A, it's a lot of the usual suspects.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at us. We played the last 2 years. We've opened up with LaSalle Peru, who's a conference opponent. So we're playing the same team. It seems like all the time. For years there, and go back in the history, we had the JCA matchups, and so yeah, it's. I think there's goods and bads. You draw the big crowds and all that, and I know that's what people want, but I still like seeing some new opponents as well. But it is what it is. So it's kind of one of those things that I get a lot more concerned with just scouting the opponent. Okay, this is who we have, other than, well, I wish this is what the format looked like. I think 1 through 32 makes sense for sure. But that doesn't always add up in Illinois sometimes. So, we go with the system we have, and we'll see. I think going 4A could give us some maybe different opponents we're not super familiar with. I saw, and I think the newest one we were projected to play Freeburg and maybe Mount Zion, and those are teams I know I've never had experience
Yeah,
with.
so he's sending you south, basically. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. So, there could be some new opponents there. So we'll see. Obviously, we still got a few weeks to go.
Well, again, always appreciate you joining us, and hope we didn't interrupt your Bears viewing, but it sounds like you don't have much love for them, and, join the club, obviously. So
That's right.
I'm a disgruntled fan for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know any other kind, actually, at this point. So,
yes.
All right, Alan. Thanks. Best of luck, my friend.
Good luck, Alan.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for everything.
You
Good talking to you.
All right.
All right, Alan Thorson joining us from Morris. And again, yeah, Joe, twice I've nominated him for Bears, and both times he hasn't won. So I give up.
He's done a great job down there.
He has.
I know
it's going to be a different team this year. I get
think
that
so,
feeling.
too.
This is going to be a good team come playoff time.
Tell you
Evan?
what, if they go into 4A,
I think that's where they're headed.
watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out.
I just kind of marvel at the job that he's done, especially what he was taking over kind of after that program
Tough
in the
gig.
era of Durgo and Darlington and the success that was had there. And
Not
there was
an easy gig.
There was a transition period, and now things are clicking. And Morris, to me, is one of those teams in the area. We talk about them, but they're still just flying under the radar. And if they get through that Week 9 game, 9-0, I'm with Coach Joe. Look out.
Yeah, and I hear that, and again, and I try to explain to people. Number one, Morris at one time had, I think, 3 radio stations that were covering them. So, from our standpoint, but you know what? They are in our area. They're great people and great fans, and we're always going to cover them one way or another. As long as I'm involved in this station, we're going to talk to Morris.
When,
for sure.
When the local Walmart sells the high school team's gear in the sports section, that's when you know fans are dedicated to their team.
It is the best. When I see that, I'll take a picture and I'll text it to Alan Thorson.
It's football season.
Football season. It's Morris. You got to love it. Now that my daughter is working in Morris, she's like gung ho. Yay, Morris! Now it's amazing when you start getting paid how things change all of a sudden. So, again, always good to have Alan on. We're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, right back out to the phone lines, Tyler Plants joins us. We'll talk a little Emerald Isle football and preview the big game of the week this week against Carmel. This is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Do you have ugly countertops? You need new granite or quartz countertops. There's only one place to get them. They're affordable, fast, have great customer care, and the quality is perfect. That place is Surface Solutions in Mokina, right off Interstate 80 and LaGrange Road. Surface Solutions was voted best place to buy granite or quartz by Southland's Best. So don't live with ugly countertops. Come look, touch, and feel tons of samples, including over 70 slabs on display and hundreds of discounted remnants to choose from right in Mokina. Don't settle for the other guy's back pocket samples. Come see the full slab difference. Surface Solutions will measure, fabricate, and install your new countertops in no time. Surface Solutions, voted best place to buy granite or quartz by Southland's Best. Located near 194th and LaGrange Road in Mokina, just off I-80. For information, go to surfaceSolutionsIL.com. That's surfaceSolutionsIL.com. Stop living with ugly countertops.
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba, please be done. Over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, everyone, gather around. It's time for corny jokes about passing the torch.
The team at Kirian's Welding was fused together solid.
Thanks for all the late nights and early shifts.
But double retirements mean the crew must bond with some certified new hires.
You've both gone the extra millimeter.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tune in to 1340 WJOL next Monday morning for Will County's Habitat for Humanity, Building Homes and Changing Lives. Hosted by members of the Will County Habitat for Humanity. Topics during the show will include affordable housing in Will County, how to become a Habitat partner, where Habitat is building in Will County, and ways you can get involved on their construction sites with their Restore and their upcoming events. Will County's Habitat for Humanity, Building Homes and Changing Lives will run 2 Monday mornings a month from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM, your host, along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and Evan Bredesen. And guys, I know sometimes if you have problems with your cell phone, you might have support that you call. Like, Joe, I know you're a big techie guy. So I know you don't need any help. You don't need any help technology-wise at all.
I call my son.
But do you know who I call when I have a problem with my cell phone? I call Tyler Plants, the head coach of Providence Catholic Celtics. When I have a problem with my cell phone, I call Tyler Plants, and he tells me that there's something wrong with my phone. Tyler didn't realize that, did you? You're doing tech support now.
Hey, you know what? Any way that I can help, I'm willing. No job too small.
So I've been trying to get a hold of Tyler, and I'm like, man, I can't get a hold of him. So dummy me, I go, you know what? I'll send him an email. Boom, like 5 seconds later, he answers the email. I go, Tyler, I've been texting you, and he's like, I haven't gotten anything. So he sends a text, nothing. He gets nothing from me. So Tyler Plants fixed my phone. So Tyler, I owe you and maybe the football community maybe not owes you a thanks as well. We'll see. First of all, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
You've got one heck of a game tomorrow night against an opponent I think a lot of people might not realize they've kind of turned things around here in the last year or two in Carmel.
Yeah, absolutely. They got a very talented team and really talented coaching staff with Jason McKee up there. And a guy who I've kind of met throughout the last couple of years and is a good friend of Coach Harry Easthains is Olin Cruz, who's actually helping out there on staff too. So it's, they got a great coaching staff, a lot of talent. I mean, they are definitely a very, very strong team.
Tyler, early in the year, we saw, again, we did the Joel Catholic game on the radio, and offensively, it seemed like flashes of brilliance. But the last couple games, you guys have put some points on the board offensively. What has changed there?
It's just been kind of getting kind of coming together as a group. I mean, it's been we've battled some injuries and just kind of figuring out our identity from year to year. I mean, kind of a big personnel shift. We're losing a couple of guys, a couple of big tight ends. So we got to kind of change what we're doing. And then just kind of getting back to what we're good at, you know what I mean? So it's like figuring out who the kids are, figuring out what the kids are comfortable with, and then it's just getting a rhythm too. It's as much as it's nice having the practices in the summer. I swear you have that week, and then the kids have amnesia, and then it's 2 weeks and the season starts, and I feel like you're starting from scratch again.
Yeah.
So I mean, the biggest thing has just been a little bit of continuity. Moving around some of the guys around and trying them at different positions and just finding what works. We've definitely hit some bumps in the road, but again, like all things, we've got to, as much as we're returning some guys, we've got a lot of young players playing football, so allowing them to kind of come into their own and learn really what it takes to be successful. And I think we're starting to get where we need to be.
I think Tyler, one of the more interesting things this year with the season, and I think going in, I think a lot of us had an idea that it could wind up this way, was the realignment in the Catholic League and some of the schools that were brought in. and then you look at your schedule's obviously different this year. You're playing some different teams compared to the year before. It's made a great league even better. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think it's awesome to be able to, it's awesome that Coach Turner's really been a huge piece of that, but being able to play 7 games against like great teams, I mean, that's awesome. That's exciting. To go up there at the Paul. I mean, my dad was a Gordon Ram back in the day, so he takes a lot of pride in his, I think it was 1980 state championship. But again, being able to play a team like that and just seeing how competitive everyone is. I mean, it's like, it's really impressive to see how a lot of these programs are coming together. And it's awesome to be able to see everybody. All right, well, if I'm stepping up into this league, it's kind of wakes up some of the coaches and gets these coaches going. And the kids see, well, if we're playing at a high level, shoot, I want to play there. So I think it just helps to make this, in my opinion, the best conference in the state, an even better one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right now, you mentioned your dad with Gordon Tech. Number one, that is not your dad's Gordon Tech anymore. If you looked around some of the facilities at the Paul Prep. It is amazing. It is amazing what they've done there. And then the other side of that is, you mentioned stepping up, and you look at their situation where they're located. They could build up pretty quickly here, Tyler. From what I've seen, they could wind up being a power, I think, sooner rather than later if people have a handle on what their deal is and what they can draw and what they can appeal. It could be interesting for them the next few years.
Without a doubt. I mean, alumni is excited. I mean, because my dad and all his brothers went there. So I mean, from what they've done and what they're continuing to do and the plans that they have, where their school grew so much that they couldn't even. They're going to put a field house in. The school got too big, so they had to build classrooms. Yeah. I mean, it's really impressive what they're doing.
Tyler, and defensively, I was very impressed with your defense against Joliet Catholic, and Edgy just talked about, and you did about the realignment and the teams that all you guys are playing, and people say, well, they're giving up points and stuff, and you said that the defense was pretty good. I said the defense is pretty good. They're playing a little bit, maybe a better caliber. But last week against a very good Montini team, you guys did an outstanding job defensively against that offense.
We appreciate that a lot. I mean, a testament to the coaches who put together a great plan, the kids that really work hard. And, again, we kind of battled the injury bug a little bit to start the year. And then activating some young players who were kind of getting their feet wet for the first 2 weeks and have finally really came into their own. And that's kind of become evident in these last couple games. So, I mean, obviously coach is doing an awesome job. Players playing around. I mean, we've got some great guys on that defense with obviously Gavin Hagan, Jen Mikulski, Luke Leverett, who are some really, really special players. But again, to have some couple sophomores that have stepped up and some freshmen even have been stepped up and doing a great job for us over these last couple of weeks. So to see them and kind of their trajectory is really exciting too.
And that's what I stopped by school today and talked to Coach Turney, and I saw Smitty and Sandy, and I got the rosters, and I thank Sandy because I could not get a hold of anybody up at Carmel Mundline for their roster, but Sandy gave me one. But looking through your roster, as you said, over half your team is underclassmen, which is a credit to you and your coaching staff to get them in a position to be where you're at right now and for the future.
Without a doubt. I mean, working with these kids are awesome. Like these kids just stick their nose down and they work and they love football. I mean, it's really exciting to be around. I mean, the energy that you get from these kids where they're asking questions and watching the game and learning about the game and doing extra time. Like right now they're in the weight room and one of their dads are screaming at them to, hey man, get out of here. We got to go. And they're trying to get another rep. Another lifted, shooting in the gym. I'm telling you, man, it's awesome. It really is to see the energy with it, where it's like you give them the platform, you guys decide how you want to work it, and then kind of seeing how the iron sharpening iron amongst this group. That's absolutely really exciting to see what we got here right now, especially in the nearby future with these guys with some experience in their belt.
So year one from year two, you're halfway through. Well, you're a little more than halfway through year two, and you mentioned younger group, and it's taking them maybe a little bit longer time to kind of find their identity and get comfortable and kind of move forward. Has that been the big adjustment? What other adjustment have you kind of had to make this year, or how is this year feel maybe a little bit different compared to the first year?
Well, I mean, the beautiful thing was we were able to stay under the radar the whole time. There wasn't like these kids didn't have an expectation in their minds initially, so it was like explaining to them that they're good was the big battle last year. Now it was just maintaining that standard and getting them to where they need to go. So again, just injury bug's been tough, but the biggest thing in year 2 has been really just sticking to what you want to do, like sticking to what works. I mean, it's like you think in year 2 you got to go, all right, well, we did this in year 1, so how do we progress to the 200, 400, 600 level? It's football, still football. Don't outthink it. Don't overthink yourself. Like, play the game. I mean, these kids, they want to run. They need to block. They need to tackle. And the further you stray from that, either the slower the kids play or you're just not focusing on the right stuff. So kind of recentering for me personally to make sure that we take care of the things that need to be taken care of. And then other big thing was we had a lot of great underclassmen and just empowering them too. Or I feel like the one thing with COVID where it's really telling these kids that, hey man, go lead. It's cool to lead. It's cool to go grab this team. It's cool to go grab a teammate and make sure you get him where he needs to go. Because at first everybody wants to be the cool guy. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and that's a universal thing. But kind of missing some of those interactions during those years and really like inspiring and pushing and challenging kids to own those leadership roles. I mean, has been awesome. See the way a lot of these kids have stepped up and taking the team. So I mean, that's been a really encouraging thing too, where these young guys love ball and they're excited and they're learning and they're sponges. And then these older guys where it's like, oh shoot, that's right. It's my senior year. This is my team. What are we going to do? And you having that over the last couple of weeks and transitioning to the team we want to be has been something in my mind that's been clearly evident on the tape. And it's nothing more than just taking care of business. Get the ball from the center to QB, ball security, block and tackling, knowing our assignments, communication. And then a lot of that really comes down to which senior is going to grab the offense and defense by the horns when you're out there and the bullets are flying.
All right, so I got one more for you before I let you go, and I hope I don't have to call you for tech support anytime soon. But if I have to, I know who to call. So who do I give credit for redesigning the home jerseys and bringing more gold into the uniform?
That was something that's like that was pretty important to me. I mean, there was always a lot of the alumni that reached out who loved it. We were like, that was a huge piece to them about I mean, I feel like it's just part of Providence. You know, it's like we've got the yellow pants, we've got our green jerseys, and a lot of them really owned the plain helmets, the white helmets, where we worked a little bit of a logo on there. You kind of see on the front, but it's like Seth. It was funny because I thought there was going to be a really drawn out story about why he stuck with the white helmets. And at first he was like, honestly, when it boils down to it, it saves a couple $100 every year. And I was like, damn.
That's tough. That's tough.
You know, boys, it'd be like we'd show up in white helmets and people knew who we were. We didn't need a logo on the side. We didn't need anything special. They knew that those white helmets, as plain as they might be, they were Providence and nobody else.
Yep. Is that a little different green this year? A little bit lighter?
It is. It's a little more. It's a little Kellier, yeah.
Yep. They look great.
Yeah, they do.
Well, the green's tough too, because that's even at Notre Dame. It's like you don't know what green is green. Like there's the light green and there's lime green, and the Kelly green's 14 different ones.
It's different.
Under Armour's the Nikes.
No, stick with what you got. I like what you got now.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Appreciate that. The kids liked it too, and we went. We took every time we worn the yellow bottoms, they played much better. So they're attributing it to the yellow bottoms. So
you
got
to roll with it.
We got to roll with some of the success with just kind of going back to some of the traditions that
awesome
this place is built on.
Well, we appreciate it. Appreciate you picking up, and good luck tomorrow night. Go get a win.
Yeah,
And
I'll be
again,
out
if you
there,
want to hear that game, you can hear it right here on 1340, 1340.com or WJOL.com and the Odyssey app as well. Just look for WJOL. Tyler, thanks, pal. Good luck.
Yes, good luck, Tyler.
Of course. Great talking to you guys as always. Have a great night.
All right, Tyler, you too.
All right.
Tyler Plants joining us from Providence Catholic. Yeah, so if you have his cell number, you got a problem with your phone, just give him a call and he'll get you all hooked up.
Yeah, don't call me.
No, not at all. All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, let's go to the bathroom before I have to come back and listen to the final end of the show. I'm sure you're all doing that. I'm sure you're not watching football and another drive into the deep end of the Washington part of the field.
It's early.
Can't do play-by-play, otherwise, well, three of us will go to jail. But we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, don't go anywhere. It is the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
The WJOL Ghost Your Bills Cash Contest is a company-wide contest for your chance to win $2,000 daily. No purchase necessary to enter or win. You will receive an email confirming entry. One winner will be chosen for each day. Contest is open to U.S. residents 18 years or older. Contest is sponsored by participating Alpha Media stations, audience, or their parent, subsidiary, and affiliated entities. Advertising agencies, promotional partners, and members of families or households are not eligible to enter or win. Odds of winning depend on the number of entries received. Contest is subject to all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations, void where prohibited. Participants must sign all contest release and waiver forms to be eligible to win the prize. The contest begins on Monday, October 2nd, 2023, and ends on Friday, October 20th, 2023. To participate in the contest, you must listen to the participating radio station at the specified times and enter the word that wins at WJOL.com. Contest sponsors are not responsible for technical failures or malfunctions of any kind. For full contest rules, please visit WJOL.com. Decision of station management with respect to the contest are final.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure, if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like, ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Miller Lite presents your Chicago football game day headquarters in New Lenox at the JBD White Horse Inn. Catch all of the game day action this Thursday at JBD White Horse Inn, and you'll find a meatball sub with fries for $11.50, $13 buckets of Miller Lite, and $3 bottles of Miller High Life. Plus, giveaways every quarter and all of the game day action on over 21 flat screens throughout the bar. JBD White Horse Inn, 348 West Maple Street in New Lenox. JBDWhitehorseInn.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. UC Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. UC Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back to the Week 7 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rodriguero and Evan Bredesen. And guys, we haven't had this next guest on for a little while.
He's probably breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah. He can live his life. He didn't have to deal with us every Thursday.
That's right.
Oh no, we tracked them down. We had to track down several Catholic area grade schools to try to locate them because basketball's firing up again, Joe.
Oh, already?
But we found them. The head coach of your WJOL Catholic Academy Hilltoppers, Jake Jaworski, joins us. And Jaws, appreciate you joining us. Welcome back.
What's going on, guys?
Well, it's Coach Joe's fault. He wants to. He plays with the guest list, and I can't do anything about it. But I know you had a busy night. How'd the basketball game go?
No, it was actually baseball. It was actually baseball. Last baseball game of the year.
Okay.
Finally. Going since about, I think the first game was early April. And then 3 boys playing spring, summer, and fall. And tonight was the last one.
Wow.
So, yeah. Should have counted how many games. It was a lot. But
You were all over the country. I know that.
we get a little bit of a break before grade school basketball starts. Well, we still got flag football going, too.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and your job.
And we're week 7 of the season already.
And your job and everything else you got to deal with.
Yeah.
I just hate when that gets in the
I believe
way.
it's week 7.
Yeah, already.
That's all good.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Well, again, it's certainly going your way. I mean, I saw some of your quotes out of the paper from the game Friday. I mean, it sure seemed to us and a lot of other people that maybe you kind of hit a higher plateau that you guys are seeking the last handful of weeks. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think we're kind of coming to our zone a little bit, trying to, figure out exactly who we are as a team, and 6-7 weeks in, and we had maybe some inexperienced guys, so playing a lot of juniors, some seniors getting their first tick as high school players, but obviously you're not inexperienced anymore. They got a bunch of games under their belt, and kind of pulled one through. Last week was awesome. I think we had a 97-yard drive, got the ball on our own. Well, we had it on our own 7, went back a few yards on the first play, and ended up taking 5 minutes and 35 seconds off the clock and scored a touchdown. 2 of our losses, we were kind of in those situations and lost the lead late. It was awesome to see our guys kind of dig deep a little bit and come on the right side of it.
Josh, you again, speaking about last week, you're down 17-7, I think, at halftime and getting that huge victory. What were some of the adjustments that were made at halftime against Marist? We kind of bottled up the run game, a little bit, and kind of turned to a matchup that we liked out on the outside. Adrian Washington coming through, and our quarterback Andy Munoz gave him some opportunities, and we had a kind of a big half through the air, to kind of come back and win that game. And credit to our everybody on the offensive line, guys blocking, our right side of the line. So we had some injuries, and we ended up with 2 backups on the right side of the line, senior Travis Peterson and a sophomore Connor Ahoy. That stepped in, got thrown into the fire, and we were able to rally behind some of those guys and come out with a win.
Jaws, we were talking earlier about, and you and I have talked for a while about the schedules this year and the impact of the realignment in the Catholic League and the addition of some of the new schools. And now that you look at it and you're 7 weeks through, I mean, I think part of the we'll call it the negative of this. Seems like everybody's banged up. I mean, everyone's banged up at this time of the year, but it seems like everyone's really banged up at this time of the year. So that obviously isn't a great thing, but I mean, is it possible that league is actually getting even better with the competition level this year?
I mean, week in, week out up to this point, I can't remember through 6 weeks of a season, the level of physicality that, the teams on our schedule, even last week, you got a 1-5 Marist team, and I'd probably put them up there in one of the top 2 teams to play this year. And definitely one of the most physical teams we've played all year. But yeah, some guys banged up. That's all part of it. Dealing this time of year with the weather changing, some illness and things like that. But we had some. I think we got 3 guys back this week. So that's a plus. We're getting some guys healthy as well. But yeah, definitely. It's been week in, week out. It's been a grind, that's for sure.
Jaws, I know you love homecoming, being a former Hilltopper like myself, and with homecoming activities going on. How much do you really enjoy it?
It's a battle. You want the kids to have fun, but at the end of the day, we you can't let it affect your schedule too much, and you're fighting the activities that they have, and you want them, like I said, you want them to enjoy it, but there's definitely got to be a balance to it as well.
Have we ever talked to a coach that ever has enjoyed homecoming ever?
No,
we haven't at all. At all. That is the one area all you guys can agree on.
I know coaching baseball, you have all the honor nights and at Jolie you have a
spring break
and stuff, but it's nothing like homecoming, I don't think, Jaws.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's all in good fun, I guess.
I guess.
What should your fans look for from Leo? What can they expect out of the Leo Lions?
You're going to have a team that plays hard. They got some guys that are athletic. Their quarterback is certainly an athletic kid.
Good player. I've seen some tape on him.
He extends a lot of plays and scrambles, or throws the ball down the field in those situations. So we got to try to keep him, throwing the ball from the pocket. And they got a couple lanky receivers out on the edge too that can provide some mismatch from a height standpoint or leaping abilities. So we just got to protect against the big play.
Jaws, sorry about that. We just lost you there for a second, but we got you back.
Sorry about that.
Health-wise, you're good going into this?
Yeah, for the most part. Like I said, we had 2 linemen down this past week. One was out for the game. We lost one during the game, but both guys have been practicing this week. And then we had not really a football-related injury. I kind of had some health issue that he's been out for 3 weeks or so. One of our secondary guys, our safety, he's back practicing this week too. So it was nice to see, a little bit refreshing. But credit to our guys, that have stepped up for the last couple of weeks and been able to plug some guys in and get some guys some different experience and because that depth's going to come a long way because injuries are part of the game. And the more guys you get playing, the more experience you get. Just creates depth.
Jaws, how important to you was the game that Anthony Munoz had his fight? And I know, I saw the tape of the game, some of it. Adrian Washington had a great game, but some of the throws that Munoz had, how important is that for him down the road now as you progress during these last 3 games and into the playoffs, that he kind of recognizes that he can, he's got the ability to do that?
Yeah, it's actually the second game that him and Adrian have hooked up for 3 touchdowns. That happened in the Notre Dame game as well. But Andy, he got beat up on Friday. He got beat up. He stood in the pocket and delivered some big strikes. We had, and we had to learn from a couple of different, 2 minutes. We necessarily didn't start that last series against Maris in a 2-minute situation. But it certainly ended up that way throughout the end of the drive. And, just progress we have seen. We had a 2-minute situation to win the game against Wheaton St. Francis, and ended up in a turnover. But that experience definitely helped him out, last Friday. And, stood in the pocket under pressure and delivered some strikes to a number of different guys and, helped win us the game there.
Jaws, appreciate you taking time. And, by the way, Joe, there was breaking news while you're in the middle of the interview.
Okay.
The Bears actually got a sack on 3rd down.
Oh, no.
Yes. You can go back to
have to go to YouTube.
Regularly scheduled programming, and they're not losing, Joe. So.
Yeah, did you hear Dick Butkus too?
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, man, it's sad as that.
Yeah, and I told Joe, I was a little bit surprised just in the fact that he's been really, really active.
Right,
I've seen him at Bear games.
Yeah,
he's been at Illinois for stuff. He, definitely wasn't, hiding away somewhere. He definitely had been staying active. So again, just just a bummer for sure.
So All right, guys. Well,
All right,
appreciate you
pal.
having me.
We appreciate you
Good luck,
joining us.
Josh.
Good luck tomorrow night, and I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road, okay?
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Jake Jaworski joining us from Joliet Catholic Academy, and I think Evan just turned the station off.
That's all right.
All right, Evan, fine. We'll go. Fine. You want to kick us out? No problem. We'll leave. But again, appreciate Jaws. Boy, that was a power hour that last hour.
Yes.
Huh? It was good. Joe, let's go through the rest of the schedule.
All right.
Big game here. Bolingbrook at Sandburg.
You know, I'm picking Sandburg here because you don't know which both of these teams. You don't know who's going to show up.
You know, Bolingbrook's another one. You look at your list. By the way, this is the Joe Handy Dandy handwritten playoff list.
Yes.
If you're maybe Joe will autograph one and send it to you if you want.
Yeah.
But Bolingbrook again at 3-3, and look what they have left: Sandburg, Lockport, Lincoln Way East. There's no gimmicks there, folks. None at all.
No. They got to get the next 2 out of 3. So
HF at Lincoln Way East, like we talked about. HF is at 3-3. They're kind of struggling, trying to find their way, and you don't want to be struggling going into Frankfort to take on East.
No, especially tomorrow night with all the festivities there.
No doubt about it. Joe, I called this one of the top 5 games in Chicagoland this week. Bradley at Lincoln Way West.
You know, again, probably for the conference, as you said before, Edge, and I'm going to pick Lincoln Way West. They're at home, and it seems like the bigger the game, the better they play.
Boy, Bradley's good this year.
I know they're good.
They're good this year. The Stag at Lincoln Way Central, Joe. Lincoln Way Central is another team. You look at their record right now. They could wind up, what, at worst, 7-2?
Yes.
Maybe even 8-1.
This is the train's not stopping tomorrow night in New Lenox, that's for sure.
Is Dave Woodburn coach of the year?
Yes.
There's a couple in the area we can look at.
Yes.
He's right up there.
He's my front.
He's right up there.
Yep.
As we talked with Jake Jaworski, Joliet Catholic hosting Leo.
Joliet Catholic.
Andrew at Lockport, and boy, does George and the boys need a win against the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, they've got to get
Bolts.
at least they're in playoff mode right now. And talking to George, you know, actually Andrew, I think, has beaten them the last 2 years. So they're looking for a little revenge here, but they've got to get this one for sure because they have Bolingbrook and then HF.
I don't know what team is playing on television, but it's not the team I've watched for the first 4 weeks. So,
it's the Chicago DJ Moore's playing right now.
Good.
He has both.
Oh, nice catch! Wow.
I'm not going to turn around, people. You
All
can see
right.
my ugly face.
One more game, and we talked earlier with Tyler Plant. Providence hosting Carmel. Tough game, Joe.
Yeah, but
I think Providence at home finds a way.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Celtics here. I think they can beat Carmel. Plus the fact that maybe Carmel already left to get to New Lenox, and it's going to be a long ride.
They better fly their head coach in to get to the game because he's in Washington right now, working the sidelines for Bears radio. So, and by the way, our friend Joe Curry got a shout out to the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints. Overtime loss to St. Xavier, again, taking Xavier down to the wire. They're on the road taking on Roosevelt University up in Arlington Heights, I believe. 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. Go get them, Joe.
Yes,
Go get them,
Joe.
Fighting
Yep.
Saints. So there you go. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it, Evan. I think we're pretty good here. Okay, Evan tried to turn us off before. Tried to close the station 5 minutes ago. So why not?
That's
all right. For Evan Bredesen, I'm EDGYTIM. Boy, I'm glad this is the end of the show. Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been Week 7 of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Good night.